It's game time. Welcome back to New Paltz Sports Network, everyone. Your home for all athletic news, information, and updates for your New Paltz Hawks. I'm your host, Ascanio. I'm a senior here, and I'm the center fielder on the baseball team. Every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on WFNP 88.7 FM, we will dive into the journeys of our NCAA athletes from various sports here at SUNY New Paltz. I'll be bringing on student athletes here to have conversations to really get to know and give them a platform to share their experiences while playing here. So if that's what to expect, I'm excited and I'll get right into it. And we're live in the studio for the 15th and final episode of the fall semester. Welcome, everyone. Today is definitely going to be a little different than our normal routine. Winter's here, and instead of our typical one-on-one interview style, I think it's a perfect time to highlight and recap the fall sports season. From thrilling conference championships to standout individual performances, it's been a semester full of memorable moments for your New Paltz Hawks. It's been unbelievable, and we'll be recapping all the highs from our teams, including women's soccer's championship run, tennis's undefeated season, and much more. I'll also be lucky enough to bring on and be joined by my teammate, who will help me break down the standout performances, key wins, and the athletes who've truly shined this semester. So whether you've been cheering on the Hawks from the stands or following along from home, stay tuned as we reflect on an unforgettable fall season and last spring, and look ahead to what's next for New Paltz Sports. So let's dive in. So just want to introduce my man to kick off the 15th segment in the Hawks hot seat. I got my teammate in the house. He's an all-region second team and all-SUNYAC first team player, absolute workhorse and dog, and a 2024 SUNYAC Champion, first one in school's history. I'd like to welcome onto the network junior pitcher and outfielder from Poughkeepsie, New York, repping the 00 for your New Paltz Hawks baseball team, Xavier Zykoff. What's up, my man?
How's it going, Mike?
Welcome back. For those who don't know, Xavier and I, we were lucky enough to go on the radio 1 year ago with my producer, Finn. That was a great time, so it's good to be back with my man over here.
Kicks the note off right there.
Yep. We have a ton of content to get into, so we're going to do a quick PSA break now to get it out of the way, and we'll be right back.
Stumble my words already.
It's okay.
It's okay. That's just
far from home. Sacrificing
And then,
well, for those of us
yeah,
who support
go right
our
into
armed
it.
forces through the USO, we get to make a difference too. Through the USO,
Mike
we get to
Ekberg's
be
the,
force behind the forces.
women's soccer
Connecting
coach.
with
Yeah.
every comfort of family,
He's a cool
home,
guy.
and country possible.
I know a
It's
lot
good
of them.
feeling to make a difference.
Either like him or
Visit
don't.
USO.org/force to learn
He was
how
cool to
you
me.
can
He was like,
force
"You're that
behind the
podcast guy?"
forces.
He's like, "I watched all of them, except for I got to watch the next one." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." Because then he started saying "go to war" and stuff.
Oh, we did? Alright, so
brought to
I'll
you
like
by
it.
the New Paltz Music Collective.
Um,
We are here on WFNP.
All right, yeah, then we'll get right into it.
I won't stumble this time.
And you could move the mic a little down so that it could be like, yeah, so it's closer and picks up your mouth better.
At NP Music Collective.
All right, we back. All right, we're gonna get right into it. So to start off hot with the recent 2024 SUNYAC Women's Soccer Champions. The women's soccer team, they were unbelievable all year this year. They went 15-3-2 on the year. They won the conference championship versus Cortland on the home South Turf in front of the home family and friends. And they had the most wins in program history. Xavier, how cool was that day? Wasn't it a blew-out championship game?
Yeah, we that South Turf, man, the energy that day was just different. And with a lot of sports having Cortland as a rival, to play them home was just a different vibe. Like of course I'll relate it back to us, but like when we played Cortland, it was on their turf. But to play such a big game at your home field and have everybody there to support you, I mean, it was like, the atmosphere was crazy.
It really was so cool. I remember grabbing my morning coffee. I was feeling good vibes for them because I had brought a lot of those girls, 6 of them, onto this show. So they all were so selfless and really cool and very well spoken. And I knew that they were locked in for the game.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I've said previously, I've never really paid attention to women's soccer that much. I've never went to games. I didn't. And I started to want to go, and I enjoyed watching them.
Yeah.
And they were unbelievable. It was a blew-out game. The first championship held at home, I'm pretty sure. Now, that was their second championship ever in the history, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't host a championship at home in that 2011 season. Either way,
sure.
Either way, the fans were rowdy. It was packed out in blue, other than the red from the Cortland faithful. But
we don't have to talk about that. It's okay.
But unbelievable season for them. I'm very happy for them. And then to top it off, in his 8th season, Coach Mike Eckberg led the way to winning the Coaching Staff of the Year. There was 9 all-conference selections, 2 Players of the Year, and a championship ring. So we just want to shout them out real quick. Rachel Iser, I mean, what a resume. She won Offensive Player of the Year in the SUNYAC for the 2nd straight year. She was named 2nd team All-American, which is only the 2nd nomination in team history, which is just dope, and was 1st team All-SUNYAC as well. And she broke the record for single-season goals and overall points scored. So the most dominant offensive player in women's soccer history, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I feel like every single post I saw coming through my Instagram feed, Rachel. Breaks another record.
I know, it's really cool.
Crazy.
And I had her on the show, and the very next day in the morning, she scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
So she killed it all year.
That's nuts.
Then in goal, you have Maddie Franklin, who won the SUNYAC Defensive Player of the Year. She had 50 saves, 11 shutouts, and just a crazy year in goal. Absolute brick wall. And she received 1st team All-SUNYAC. And then a couple other, there's a lot of them, so I'm just listening. I gotta give them credit. For the 1st team All-SUNYAC, you also have Alexis DeLeo, Emma Vogie, Gabby Treble, and Hannah Wellinger on defense. And then Lainey Schmitz, she was unbelievable. She received honors to the 2nd team, and Brooke Kelleher and Mia Baldinger both received spots on the 3rd team. So, I mean,
like the whole team.
Literally. This team, top to bottom, was so supportive, selfless, relentless. Their motto was pursue excellence. And ultimately it showed. And they've cemented themselves as the greatest women's soccer team in New Paltz history.
Very well-rounded team.
Straight up.
I'm pretty good friends with a lot of them, and they're close. They're all close. They don't have separate niche groups. I mean, they're all just like one big family.
And that's the way that you ultimately succeed on the field. You gotta be gelled.
Mm-hmm.
And how about all those edits on our social media channels? Check out @New Paltz Talks on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. All those edits are unbelievable. A couple of them have my voice in there. I was lucky enough to call the championship game.
Like features.
So that was pretty cool, but definitely check out all those edits from our media team. They do a great job. All right, so let's switch over to women's tennis. So we got another heavy hitter here. This women's tennis team did unbelievable this fall, picking up exactly where they left off. They won in the spring 2024 SUNYAC Championship. And then this fall, setting a school record for not dropping a single game to any other conference opponent. And after sweeping the other schools in the conference, they sit at a comfortable record of 7-0 overall, clinching the number 1 seed heading into the spring season. So in every single game, Xavier, they won 7-0 in every single one except for Manhattanville, which was 6-1.
It's
just dominance.
I can't imagine being an opponent in that situation. Like, if I was like, oh, I gotta play New Paltz tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Like, their history from last year, then they come back every single year and they're dominant. I wouldn't want to show up to the match. Just give it to them. They're dominant.
They're definitely feared. Some standout players include Nina Genzone, Isabel Vanderveen, she's a captain, Justine Staneko, and Olivia Kunz, and much more, of course, just a few names. Captain Isabel Vanderveen, she noted that, and I quote, "The key to success for us was how close we all are with each other. This is hands down one of the closest teams I have been on in my 4 years here, and I truly think that it makes a huge difference. We all want to go out there and win for not only ourselves, but for the whole entire team. When you combine that with our aggressiveness on the tennis court, we are pretty much unstoppable." It's a powerful quote by Isabel there.
And I think their record backs that up. Unstoppable, 7-0 every time. I mean,
Absolute freight train.
yeah.
They are a wagon. And yeah, after winning the SUNYAC in spring of 2024, they look forward to staying in that number 1 spot and bring another trophy home in 2025 in that trophy case right in the AWC.
We're filling that thing up. Somebody's got to tell Renee or Brian, we got to get a new one of those.
Oh, we do need a new one.
They're going to all fill up soon.
Let's go right back to men's soccer.
Okay.
We'll hit both soccers. This 2024 New Paltz men's soccer team, they had a solid season. They finished with a 9-8-2 overall record, and they went 5-3-1 in conference play. But the team, they reached the SUNYAC semifinals, but fell to top-seeded Buffalo State in a tight 2-1 match. I remember watching it live. I don't know if you
I was watching it on the phone. I think it was the same time as the women's soccer final.
It was. I actually might have been with you.
Yeah, we were watching like both games at once. So somebody had it on the phone, and then we got like Paris Burke and everybody going crazy in front of us. And
it was a 1-1 game, and then Buff State scored really late, right?
Yeah,
So-
really late, I think.
So despite the loss, they did show great determination and fight. So sometimes it just doesn't go your way, but ultimately it's stepping stones towards the bigger picture and winning ultimately.
Yep.
Alex Wyant was a standout player throughout the season, playing a pivotal leadership role. He notched key goals, including a penalty kick game winner against Fredonia earlier in the season, and he consistently delivered under pressure. And then it's definitely worthy to note, freshman forward Brandon DeNewell, he led the team with 8 goals and 17 points as a freshman. Absolutely gross.
Crazy.
And also freshman midfielder Brian Lozamo also made huge contributions with 5 goals and 11 points, second on the team. And those two, Xavier, they show that they're going to be a problem for opponents for years to come.
Yeah, when I first saw Brandon play, because I was at one of the games, there's sometimes you go to a game and you see a player, man, even if you don't know who they are, you can just tell that they're like a standout on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know he was a freshman. And so I think I saw him score a goal. And I was talking to whoever was around me, and I was like, who is this guy? They're like, oh, he's a freshman. I was like, this kid's...
He's gross.
He's got 3 more years to develop. I'd watch out.
And then on the flip side, they got a nice young core.
Mm-hmm.
Then defensively, you have players like center back Owen McGarity and goalkeeper Christian Michelli. They were key to the Hawks' success. Michelli was reliable in goal, maintaining stability during critical moments. And overall, I think the team demonstrated growth and resilience throughout the season, and they showed a lot of potential for continued success in future years, especially given the young core that we just talked about.
Yep.
And their semifinal appearance marks another step forward for the program as they aim to build on the season's foundation. I mean, a 1-1 game that tight with the number 1 seed that didn't lose all season except for New Paltz.
Yeah.
That was Buffalo State's only loss. So,
And I think going into that game, having lost to New Paltz, they got to be thinking in the back of their mind, like, we got to turn this up another notch.
Oh, yeah.
And from a New Paltz standpoint, to be playing a team that has such a resume behind them, knowing you've already beaten them, I mean, that would just give me an extra, light my fire.
Right.
Like, we can totally do this right now.
Oh yeah. All right, let's go to swimming. So we have men's and women's. So the 2024 men's and women's swimming teams, they had a strong fall season, showcasing competitive performances in dual meets and early preparation for the SUNYAC Championships. So for the men's, some key performances. The men's team, they excelled in relays, including a second-place finish in the 200-yard medley relay at the SUNYAC Championships, with standout swimmers Jack Worth, Luke Hoyt, Stephen Macaluso, and Ven Engstrom. So they also earned 3rd place in the 800-yard freestyle relay. So on senior day against SUNY Oneonta as well, the men dominated with a 116-86 victory, and they claimed 1st place in the 400-yard medley relay and swept the 1,000-yard freestyle race. So I'm not too familiar with the swimming game, but overall it's a solid fall for them.
Yeah, for sure. They got a big team, so to have success like that, even with just a few individuals, it stands out.
Yeah. Now, tell me, Xavier, you were at the green out game, right?
Yes. So I run the mental health portion of our student athletic advisory committee, And so I was at the green out match per se, or swim meet. And let me tell you, if you have never been to a swim meet before, you gotta go. Just the atmosphere, and I know we talk about a lot of teams being close. As soon as somebody hops into that pool, the entire place erupts, just cheering for their teammates. It's insane. And I mean, really, if you're having a bad day, go to a swim meet. Like, it is so electric in there. Like, I'm not well versed in the world of swimming.
Yeah, right.
But I felt like I was a part of the team. Like, I was just there, and I'm watching these people go, and it was so much fun. And I can't imagine being a part of the team and actually getting to participate in that and be successful. Yeah, it was something else.
That's pretty powerful stuff. Shout out men's and women's swimming. I'll keep it real. I haven't been to a meet, but honestly, Xavier's selling me.
I'll go with it. You want to go?
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. So we hit the men's portion. So now the women's portion. So some key relays. The women's team also, they've shown in relay events with a 4th place finish in the 800-yard freestyle relay at the SUNYAC Championships as well. And in their final home meet against SUNY Oneonta, they secured a 111-90 win with strong performances across individual and relay events. And overall, for both teams, they're building momentum as they head into the winter portion of their season, working toward continued success at the SUNYAC Championships. And their teamwork and depth, particularly in the relay events, have been key to their strong start. So that's really good stuff out of swimming, and powerful stuff from Xavier. They got the energy in there.
I mean what I said.
Yeah.
I'm totally going.
All right, but we'll just keep it moving. We're just hitting all the teams. We want to give everyone
it's a full recap.
some
You gotta
highlight.
do it right.
Yeah. So field hockey. I was lucky enough to talk to Miranda Britton and Rachel Tama, some standout performers. They have a real good culture over there. Unfortunately, they did fall short in the championship for the 2nd year in a row, so a big blow to them. I know it's frustrating. Sometimes it's all part of the process. But this Hawks field hockey team, they had a competitive 2024 season, strong offensive and defensive efforts throughout the entire year. They went 14-6. They were 8-0 at home on the brand new North Turf, too, that's pretty cool. It's good luck field.
Yeah, nothing like going undefeated.
Yeah, right.
Good.
But yeah, they're coming back hungry next year for sure to take that trophy back. I know Miranda and Rachel, both juniors, they're going to be coming. Both juniors, right? I know Rachel's a junior. Yeah. They're coming back next year. And yeah, I know they're hungry, and I know that one stings even more.
It really does.
So that'll be I'm excited to watch that rival game next year.
I started getting into it towards the latter part of their season. I started watching a lot more games, and I guess similar to swimming, I'm not well versed in. I don't really know everything about field hockey, but I started going to their games, and
they're passionate too.
They're very passionate, and it was an exciting watch. I think one of the last games they had at home. I think we were both there.
Yeah.
It was me.
Yeah,
and you,
we
James
were
and
there.
Garrett, and it was a fun watch. It was a good game. I don't remember who they were playing, but
Oneonta.
Was it?
Because the Oneonta parents were getting upset at our fan section.
Yeah, they didn't like us. We were just too
Sometimes
too much passion gets to them, I guess.
can't handle it.
We won that game anyways.
Yeah. They celebrated standout performances, an 8-0 shutout against Oswego on Senior Day, where Rachel Thomas, she shined with a 9-point game, scoring 4 goals, 1 assist. I actually, funny enough, happened to call that game. I was on music and goal calling.
Really?
So I kept calling Rachel Thomas goals over and over and over again. She wouldn't stop scoring. So that I thought that was funny. And yeah, this game highlighted her status as the team's offensive leader, through and through, amassing 24 goals and 58 points for the season. And she also broke the record for all-time points scored in the program in just 3 years. So she was named to the all-region first team as well, and absolute killer.
Yeah, she should.
Absolute killer. And then some other notable players on the squad. Hannah Ackerman, she won first team all-region too. Morgan Woolley was named the senior all-star. and Miranda Britton and Amanda Quinneville both got second team all SUNYAC honors. So it's a great squad. I know they're a very tight knit crew. Gail Comiskey was great too in goal.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a good squad. I enjoyed talking to them, and I enjoyed going to the games. Similar to women's soccer, I had never gone. I'm like, it's field hockey. I don't mean to disrespect.
No.
I wasn't familiar with field hockey ever.
Yeah.
So once I started to go, I was picking it up, and it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they're very passionate and tight knit crew. So
I think once you go, you start to understand.
Yeah.
What's it about? You know.
Cross country. So the SUNY New Paltz men's and women's cross country teams, they had an impressive 2024 season. The women's team, they excelled at the Fred Pavlich Invitational. They took first place out of 14 teams. Senior captain Marcella Candelid led the Hawks. She finished second overall in the 6K race, and she was named to this second team all SUNYAC team as well. That just came out recently. Sophomore Orqueda Briceno also shown achieving a personal best in her 6K race and was named to the first team all SUNYAC too. I saw her name in the Hawks Athlete of the Week nominations a bunch. So she had a really nice season. And throughout the overall season, the women consistently demonstrated depth. They had multiple runners securing top 25 finishes in key meets. And then on the flip side, the men's team, although smaller with only 8 runners, which is kind of crazy, they were equally dominant. They dominated the Fred Pavlich Invitational as well. They placed first out of 11 teams. The women were first out of 14. Senior captain Oliver Malara Perez finished first overall in the 8K race. Very impressive.
Captain setting the tone there.
Yeah. And then he was followed by sophomore Evan Miller, who achieved a personal best and finished second by just 0.5 seconds. So teammates going hand in hand, so close.
Yeah.
He was named to the first team all SUNYAC honors as well. And the team also saw strong finishes from junior Gavin Bowers. He was third team all SUNYAC. And this meet definitely highlighted the team's capability to lead and set the pace for competition. I mean, they dominated the Fred Pavlich Invitational. Way to show out. And both teams, they showed promise as they prepared for the NCAA regionals later in the season. And this cross-country program continues to build momentum, standout individual efforts, and strong team camaraderie, paving the way for future successes.
Is that a little bit of a pun there? Building momentum? Am I running?
Maybe.
They can run circles around me. That's all I know.
Like the flat. I know. I need some tips. All right. Keep it moving. In their brand new court as well. This segment has the brand new court in the Hawks Center. Women's volleyball. We'll start off with them. 2024 team. They went 16-13, going 6-3 in conference, and it was a very young core that was led by Jamie Albrecht and Letitia Perez. They made it to the SUNYAC finals and unfortunately took the loss to Cortland at Cortland's place for the second straight year. Another sting, just like field hockey. Our damn rival, the Red Dragons.
Always Cortland.
This team, they did show a lot of promising flashes throughout the season, going through the highs and lows. Jamie Albrecht, she led the team with 300 kills, and she was first team all SUNYAC honors. Freshman Elena Savage led the team with 682 assists. That is a lot of assists out of the freshmen.
Showing out there.
Yeah. Jordan Lewis led with 341 digs, and Letitia Perez led with 55 blocks. And won second team all SUNYAC honors. So they had a nice little core there.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough. I know we were both at the quarterfinal.
Yeah. I think it was Oswego.
I think it was Oswego too.
I think it was Oswego. Yeah.
And that was a pretty entertaining game. But we had a good time there. In the Hawks Center.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
And the court looks beautiful. We can't say it enough. And talking with the basketball and volleyball girls and guys, they love the new court, and it has way better grip, I was told.
Yeah. It's not that old yellow. The other one had like a yellow hue to it. This one's like, I feel new. Like I can just imagine playing on the court. And you're like, you just feel like you're ready. You know, it's like putting on a new pair of shoes or something.
Yeah,
you're
right.
like, like let's get after this. Like look good, feel good, kind of like all
Exactly.
that. Just like the aura around the new field.
A lot of aura.
Yeah.
There's only one on it, and it has the nice landscape.
Yeah.
New Paltz. Beautiful court. They did a great job in the Hawk Center. Everyone check it out if you haven't.
And then, pretty much every player on this women's volleyball team played a pivotal role on that court. And this team showed promise for the upcoming future, just like men's soccer and cross country, just a bunch of the teams. And Xavier, once you gain experience and get your feet wet a little bit, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
Like look at us, for example. But to relate it to this women's volleyball team, they have a bunch of young freshmen. I transferred here to start my sophomore year, and you came in freshman year.
Yep.
We had an abysmal first year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
We went 14-24. We didn't win our first conference game in 13 games, something crazy like that.
You didn't have to call out all the stats, but it was.
I know them.
not the
I know
best.
them like the back of my hand. Because it just makes the story so much better.
It
but
does.
we know that when you put in a young core like that early, similar to men's soccer too, with Danula and Lazama, sometimes you get pushed around a little bit and you get your feet wet. And you can learn the conference and you get familiar with fields and everything, and you grow as a person. You never know what can happen.
You never know. I mean, look at, you got Elena Savage, freshman, led with 682 assists. That's freshman year. You're leading in a stat category.
Like, how many more are you going to get next year?
Yeah, I mean, and then the next year following that, and then the next year following that. You
Exactly.
got 3 more years. Forget about it. There's so much room to build when you're a freshman and then you have success like that, or even don't have success.
Yeah.
You can still build off of it. There's always room for improvement.
Yep. So important. Just keep going. Keep improving. All right, men's basketball. We're hitting the final stretch here a little bit on the teams. The boys are 6-1. They pick up again in late December in Vegas, so that'll be awesome. I know they're excited. AJ Knight, Dakota Smith, absolute ballers. They've been on in the past couple of weeks, and I know they're excited. They've started off hot. AJ Knight, he's been balling. Isaiah Rivera has been a standout freshman, dunking, flying around the court.
He's gross.
He's going to be really good.
Gross in a good sense, if anybody listening.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
understand
Dakota Smith doing his thing as always, the St. Lucia brothers, but really everyone. I think every player on this team provides a spark, and it's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Like, when you're going to the games, you see a lot of different players playing. It's not the same 5 that are out there with a couple subs.
No.
They're subbing.
They're always subbing, and they always maintain like a cohesive play style. Like, there's some teams where all the 1-star player's not in, and they stop scoring. But this team,
that's not them.
I feel like no matter who's on the court, it's the same team. Like the mindset and what everybody is doing is still collective, and it's the same no matter who's on that court.
Exactly. Everyone plays an important role, shares the rock, and is definitely selfless. So I'm excited for after winter break to see the guys dominate. This team is hungry. Even though they won last year, they're experienced and ready to run it back and win another championship. Want to know why, Xavier?
Why?
Because ball don't lie. So then for women's basketball, the girls are currently 3-4. And normally they don't really start off like this. They have just been a dominant force in the SUNYAC for years. But they did have a great weekend sweeping in SUNYAC play 2 weekends ago. They started 0-3. They got back to 3-3, but they took a loss last Tuesday to Hunter College. But some standout performers have been senior Julia Sabatino. She's controlling the floor at point guard and even recorded a triple-double recently. 10 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds.
I was there for that.
Yeah, but which is the 3rd triple-double recorded in program history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I'm not mistaken. So she was all over the place. That was a great performance. Abby Korzakwinski, she was on here recently as well. She plays a huge role in the paint. I know she had 14 points, 11 boards that same game as well. And then Madison Molman, she's always ready to shoot the 3 ball.
Always.
And
Basically, New Paltz is Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, right. And then also I want to highlight freshman Sophia Bonnell. She's been shooting lights out. She just has the trigger ready to go. She was just shooting. Has shown great flashes so far. I know she hit like 7 threes in that same game that we keep talking about with the triple-double and Abby and all them.
Oh, I know. I do the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I had to press +3 so many times.
So many times. So yeah, they are looking to get hot and regroup with this winter break, and hopefully they could take 2 dubs in Vegas, put everything together, and win back-to-back conference championships, because they did win last year as well.
Yeah. Bet it all on the Hawks out in Vegas.
Yep. And you can also visit nphawks.com as well to see full schedules for all our teams, including news, rosters, recaps of games, photo galleries, everything. That's where all the information always is. All right, let's see here. So let's just give the overall rundown of the year real quick.
Okay.
So the 2024 season will go down as one of the most remarkable in SUNY New Paltz sports history, if not the most remarkable, with 6 SUNYAC conference championships won between the spring and fall semesters. The Hawks have set a new standard of excellence, culminating in the most successful year the school has ever seen. Excuse me. In spring sports, New Paltz made history with men's basketball, who captured their first ever, winter/spring. They captured their first ever SUNYAC title, making a milestone that will be remembered for years to come, defeating ranked Oswego. And not to be outdone, but men's baseball, which we're lucky enough to be a part of, and softball, also brought home their first ever conference championships in program history on the exact same day versus Cortland. So we got to win and sweep the doubleheader at Cortland on Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And softball got to host the SUNYAC playoffs and win at home in front of the Hawk family and friends. So it was a phenomenal day. May 12th, 2024. I will never forget it.
Rough day to be a Red Dragon that day, huh?
Oh, yeah. And and for us, we completed the underdog story. We came out on top in dramatic fashion. The girls finished their story and solidified their best season ever at home.
Yeah.
And it was truly special to be a part of. I mean, we had so many ups and downs throughout in years prior for baseball specifically. I'm saying, but we hadn't made the playoffs in 6 years. We hadn't sniffed beating Cortland in 7 years. I could be off by like a year or two for something, but I don't think so. I think I've brushed up well on my stats. We were 0-36 playing at Cortland's field.
Yeah.
When away, we had never won. 36 losses going into the championship game. We needed to win 2 games, and we did it.
Pretty much every odd stacked against us there.
With a short roster.
Some injuries. Guys are starting to get tired.
Man,
Still pulled through.
Yeah, but we left it all out there, and I'm so proud of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make us any less hungry to do it again.
I think about that all the time. So it's a new year. You
wanna
won
go
last
back.
year. Same thing, basketball, women's basketball, men's. You won last year, but now you're in a new season. Like, you gotta show out again. Do it again.
Yeah.
You want to make a statement? Do it again.
Me and Boca, we always used to sing our favorite song and be like, "I'm the underdog, I can't be upset." But we are not the underdogs anymore.
No.
I don't view it that way.
Now we gotta set the standard.
Yeah, I don't want to be
Keep
hunted
going.
either, but we are the hunters still. So yeah, learning to win with expectations, and just going balls to the wall. It's going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
I
I don't know if you can say that.
I don't know. But yeah, everyone be on the lookout this upcoming spring. Us on baseball and softball, we're going to put on an absolute show, and you'd be crazy to miss the games. Be there, see us ball out, hit some homers. My guy X is going to strike some guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe hit some homers too.
Maybe I'm looking for one.
You never know. But yeah, to keep going on the rundown, the women's tennis team, they soared to another SUNYAC title, while women's basketball put together another stellar season, claiming their own conference crown to continue their dominance in the past decade. And then the women's soccer team, led by outstanding performances and stellar team chemistry, secured their second championship to cap off an unforgettable run. And across the board, 2024 was a year of firsts, record-breaking moments, and unprecedented success. With 6 conference championships, New Paltz established itself as a powerhouse in the SUNYAC Conference, showcasing the depth of talent, dedication, and teamwork that made this year the best in the history of New Paltz athletics. Straight up.
Yep.
from historic championship victories to the individual just brilliance of athletes, the Hawks have set a very, very, very high bar, and the future of New Paltz sports looks brighter than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, just going to plug real quick, make sure you're following at New Paltz Hawks on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. Stay up to date with all the information on your athletes. And we've really amped up the media game so far. I feel like the game day posts, the edits, everything. The media team just does so well. And it's really a nice feeling for the athletes themselves and the families and friends that get to see their kids and friends play.
No, they do a great job. Even when I can't go to a game and I see all the updates on whether it be Instagram stories or Twitter and whatnot, X, whatever, I feel like I'm still part of it.
Yeah.
Like I see halftime, I see who's leading scoring, who's got these stats, just everything. I still feel like even when I can't be there, I get all of my information that way. So I love
Exactly. So make sure you're following everything to be a part of the athlete culture here, because it's going up. All right, so normally I do my rapid fire questions, but I'd rather do some rapid fire awards and memorable moments.
Okay.
So first off, now this is very subjective to everyone in general for all of these.
Yeah. There's a little bit of bias here.
There's a little bit of bias based off of my experiences and who I've seen and what I know, but sue me. We're gonna start breakout player of the year. I don't care that he's in this room next to me. I think he fits this category perfectly. I'm giving breakout player of the year to my man Xavier Zykoff. He stepped up. He went from freshman year to sophomore year, second team all region, first team all SUNYAC. We didn't have a number one starting pitcher. We didn't know who would fill that role, and Xavier came in, balled out. He really set the tone on the mound for us and stepped up huge. He was our number one guy. So
thank you.
I'm giving you breakout player of the year.
I mean, you could say I was a number 0 guy too, but thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, game of the year. So now that you're out of the way, I want to know your thoughts too.
Yeah, get me out of the way. I'm just kidding.
I want to know your insight. Game of the year.
Yep.
I think it's Hawks versus Cortland at South Turf, women's soccer, the championship game on that South Turf. I'm giving that game of the year.
100% agree. Especially looking at home games. That was probably the largest crowd I've seen at a soccer game. And the depth behind it of beating them at home and then who it was.
And they hadn't even beat them in, I think it was like 10 years.
Yeah.
Like they literally hadn't beat them since 2011.
And then the game.
No, more than 10 years. Excuse me.
The game itself was also like nail biter.
0-0 game. They went at half. It was tied 0-0. Yeah, nail biter.
Yeah.
Which then I'm gonna sandwich this together. The most memorable play. So, which single player moment the fans will fans still be talking about from years to come? I think it goes to Paris Burke's goal, set the tone and totally deflate the Cortland Red Dragons. I think that was the play of the year.
I'd agree with that one. I'd agree that was a really fun one.
I was fired up, and I was lucky enough to call that goal. I was screaming into the mic.
You can hear it on all
it
the
was
edits.
so loud. Yeah.
Plug New Paltz Talks again. Go and watch the edits, but you can hear it.
So yeah, I'll give that goal to Paris. I know it's the best goal she's ever scored in her life. It was so cool. Coach of the year. Now, we did so many amazing things as a overall program, but I'm gonna give the coach of the year to Mike Ekberg, women's soccer. They hadn't won since 2011, and I think he did a really good job stringing these girls together. I know they worked very hard in practice, and they just created such a cool team culture that, and I got to hear from 6 of them, and just being in the building, being around everyone and everything. I'm going to give it to Coach Mike.
Yeah, and that culture you speak of, it seemed like he was even a part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I forget who posted it, but they made like a whole team TikTok, and he was in it.
Right.
And I was like, I would...
Like knowing the girls' names?
Yeah.
Was that it?
It was the, like, they say, hey, coach, and then they all have to guess who it is.
Yeah, so I think Coach Mike Ekberg did a great job. We'll keep it going. Best comeback of the year. I don't care what anyone says. This could be a little bit of bias, but I truly don't think so. I think the best comeback of the year, we were both a part of. Baseball, we were losing 10-0 in the third inning, and we ended up walking off SUNY Oswego 12-11 in Game 1 of the SUNYAC playoffs. I know you started pitching that game. We all have our. I'm not here to.
I don't like this story.
But it's part of it because it's the best comeback.
Right.
Yeah, in baseball, if you're down 10-0 early,
That's usually when
you're
you turn the
probably not
TV
going to
off.
win.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win. Now, we had just swept Oswego during that week to clinch the 2 seed. So we were excited. We knew we had their number a little bit, and they came in and they punched us in the face a couple times right away.
They definitely punched me in the face.
So I think we were all surprised and shocked, and really then we're like, we can do this.
Oh, yeah.
If
That
we
was-
can come back 10-0 in the third inning and win 12-11 and just fully deflate them, we could do anything. We
Yeah.
are winning.
And it was a lot more than just a simple comeback. I mean, this is
Oh, for sure.
playoffs, led to our momentum going into the championship. It's all that raveled together. So it's not just like a regular season game.
Yeah. So I'll definitely give us the best comeback of the year. And coming in second, though, I would give men's basketball. I know they were down 14 or 15
Oswego.
against ranked Oswego in
Yeah.
the championship as well. They had an unbelievable There's a lot of parallels between our stories. They had an unbelievable comeback too, but little bias here.
A little bit.
And then underdog story, you can also bushel basketball with us, but I'm going to give it to us. We hadn't made the playoffs in 6 years. Men's baseball, I think we win the underdog story of the year. We were 14-24 and turned it around to 30-16. That's including regionals.
Yeah.
And it was such an amazing experience. We talked about it so much. I don't even know what else to say. It's just a blessing to be a part of such a special story and team and camaraderie, culture, everything.
I
Go to
agree.
war. Shout out the brothers. Most impressive rookie. I'd say Brandon Danulo on men's soccer. He had 8 goals and 17 points, leading the team in both of those categories. I would say he's the most impressive rookie. Now, he played a full season.
He did.
The very close, it's because the season just started, but Isaiah Rivera on men's basketball, he's been killing it on the court too, so he's up there as well.
He's definitely bringing not new life to that team, but do you remember
Nice young energy
how
flying
Blondo
around.
played last year?
Oh, yeah.
He reminds me very much of that. Just kind of so skilled in everything he's doing that it just boosts everybody around him.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch him play.
Yeah, he flies on the court.
Yeah.
Everyone's gotta check him out. Player you'd want on your fantasy team. I'm giving this 2 answers here, and they're both named Rachel. I'm going Rachel Iser and Rachel Tama, women's soccer, women's field hockey.
The record breakers.
Total record breakers. They both lead of all time in points for both of their respective sports. I want them on my fantasy team.
Yeah. We should start that fantasy women's soccer.
New Paltz fantasy.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. You never know. Best rivalry game of the year. I'm going to say it's a 3-way tie. Now, Oswego, that also, I think they're becoming a bigger rival, but I don't think it's as really heated and as true of a rivalry.
Yeah. We kind of
than,
made them a
than
rival.
Cortland, right. Than SUNY Cortland.
Yeah.
So I give baseball, soccer, and softball a 3-way tie for best rivalry game of the year. All the championship, basically Game 7 type games.
Yeah.
Because, man, the adrenaline was pumping and the stakes were the highest, and we came out on top. All 3 of those trophies in the trophy case. Check them out when you're walking from the gym. This one's a good one here. The Hawks Heart Award. So, most heart and hustle. Now, at first, because I was saying I wasn't truly aware of women's soccer and their dynamics in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm going Lainey Schmitz. She was all over the place, heading balls everywhere. She was just an unbelievable standout performer. She won second team All SUNYAC like we said before, but I think she had the most heart and hustle. She started off, she was on the bench in the first 4 games and started throughout.
Is she a transfer or is she a freshman? She's a
Um,
transfer, right?
Yes, she.
From Max.
Yes,
From
she did.
Maris.
Yes,
Yeah, that's I remember hearing that.
right. So she came in, she worked her way up, and she was hustling all over the place. So I'm gonna give it to Lainey Schmitz. For the men's side, we'll do women's and men's. I'm gonna give it to my guy Sean St. Lucia. I think he's a court general. He's a big talker, big hustler. Yeah, I feel like he's very helpful on the court.
Yeah.
And I think he's scrappy and always giving 100%, even if you're not necessarily the number one, the star, because that men's basketball team has so many great players. I think the Hawks Heart Award goes to Lainey Schmitz and Sean St. Lucia.
I agree.
And this is the very last one.
These are good picks here.
I
can't
think
really disagree with these.
yeah, and there's a lot of nominations, but there's only so much you can do. The Next Level Athlete Award. So, which athlete took their game to the next level this year, pushing their stats, performance, and mental toughness overall to new heights? I'm giving it to our guy, the Butterman, number 22, Tommy Kreider.
Yeah.
He won 2024 SUNYAC Scholar Athlete of the Year. His accolades, he's the first All-American in program history. He won second team All-American. Just an unbelievable player, lead by example type kid. And he really, really good player. So he wins the Next Level Athlete Award.
Yeah. He's next level. Truly next level.
Yeah, I'm excited for.
I mean, I know there's an NCAA rule against betting, but if I could ever bet on Tommy in a game to come through in a clutch situation,
Oh yeah,
I'd put so much money on.
for sure.
He's just he's consistent, and he's a great guy. Yeah.
Well, this was a pleasure, Xavier. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And yeah, this concludes the 15th and final segment of the fall. I really just wanted to take the time to thank each and every person that showed love and support throughout my time starting this show. Between the athletes here, families, friends, and anyone who tuned in, it really was a big step for me to put myself out there and try something new. And I'm very proud of what was started here.
Should be.
Thank you. Unfortunately, I won't be returning for the spring semester, but I'm very hopeful that this show will leave a lasting impact for the athletes here. I can't say it enough. It really was a pleasure and a blessing to be able to do this and help create a culture for all the ballers that represent the blue and orange here. So thank you to everyone who showed so much love and support. I really can't say thank you enough. This has been so cool, and I'm very appreciative.
Thank you. I've been tuning in every week. This is like my favorite thing. I cook dinner and I listen to you.
Thanks, man.
That's my thing.
I appreciate that. Much love. Thank you to everyone. I'm signing out. This is Michael Ascanio, and Roll Hawks.